The Supreme Court today upheld the centre's move to scrap the special status to Jammu and Kashmir under Article 370 of the Constitution. A five-member bench of the Supreme Court, led by the Chief Justice, ruled that Article 370 was a temporary provision to ease Jammu and Kashmir's merger with India. The court said Jammu and Kashmir did not retain sovereignty when it joined India and that its constituent assembly ceased to exist the moment that it did merge with India. Well, joining us now, Tanveer Sadiq of the National Conference. We're also joined by Ranveer Pathania of the BJP. I'd like to thank you all for being with us. Tanveer Sadiq, let me come to you first. This is something which has been debated endlessly for decades. And of course, the BJP, the government moved in and they abrogated it a couple of years back. But now that it's gone, why does this necessarily still have to be a political focal point of the NC, when in fact, perhaps the bigger point is that there are elections coming up, which is good news for everyone?
Vishnu, first of all, yes, it is disappointing, but it's not disheartening. The fact that we did not go to the Supreme Court for elections, we did not go to the Supreme Court for statehood. We went for something that was snatched from us illegally, unconstitutionally, and we feel that way still. Please understand, today is a good day for BJP and probably a bad day for us. But in past, there have been verdicts, there have been judgments in Sampath Prakash where the Article 370 was held, the special status was respected. Even they went to an extent of saying that 370 was permanent. Yes, it took 70 years for the BJP to come and stand here today. It may take many more years for us.
But you see, Tanveer, this is the part I don't understand. It might take many more years for you to do what? 370 it's been removed. The Supreme Court said there's nothing wrong with that. So as far as Kashmir is concerned, that is, and Jammu, it is over and done with. So is that not something that needs to be put aside? Because it's not one judge, it's not two judges, it's five judges, and they've ruled.
Fair enough. Vishnu, I'll tell you. When the same judgment came from three judges and unanimously, I didn't see any of you climbing and saying that it's done. Why do you want to talk about 370, abrogation of Article 370? Yes, today a five-judge bench turned that three-bench verdict. Tomorrow there will be seven benches. We are hopeful. It's like something that we feel was done unconstitutionally. Now, there is one important point. If it is for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, then people of Jammu and Kashmir were not part of it. And that is what we feel. If this was all done through a proper channel, through the party, through the people of Jammu and Kashmir, maybe we would have agreed to that. But today it was done, which we feel was unconstitutional. I have all the respect for the judgment, but the fact that one of the judges said that the people of Jammu and Kashmir had to be heard, unfortunately, in this verdict, in this judgment, the people of Jammu and Kashmir have not been heard.
All right, Ranveer Pathania, let me come to you next. I think there are 2 points which the Supreme Court has endorsed today, which are important. Firstly, a quick restoration of statehood for Jammu and Kashmir, and secondly, elections. Would you suggest that both of these, are win-win solutions in terms of where Jammu and Kashmir needs to go within a finite period of time?
Absolutely, Vishnu. Jammu and Kashmir stands at a very, very defining moment. Post 5th of August 2019 and now 11th of December 2023. The road for elections has ultimately been cleared. A post-dated check for statehood has also been given. And Jammu and Kashmir is still special. It is special with regards to the central assistance. We enjoy 100% Ayushman Bharat coverage. No category, no list in Jammu and Kashmir. We stand at a higher budget. We stand in a better security scenario. We stand with better tourist infrastructure and a tourist influx also. People and youth, especially females and young girls, they are posting their selfies from Polo Market in Srinagar at 11 in the night, at the dead of the night, 11, 12 also. So Article 370, my basic point remains, and the predicament also remains, that the value-centric parties, including the esteemed National Conference, there's an adage that every sinner has a future and every saint has a past. So these, with due respect, all these Kashmir-centric parties, they are not able to come to understand that ultimately the ground has slipped under their feet. this article, which was till now, it was an article of deception, article of demagogy. It was an article of deceit. It was a breeding ground for parasites. It did not give anything. It only snatched. Jammu and Kashmir did not have right to education as a fundamental right. Jammu and Kashmir had not right to food. Jammu and Kashmir had not right to Fair Compensation Act. Jammu and Kashmir had not Forest Rights Act. No political reservation for STs. SCs without a right to vote. Women losing their right to acquire property and employment in Jammu and Kashmir. So the basic point, you see, I use the word, it's a defining movement. Sir, you should have started, there was a different wave going on through the country.
Sure.
Today, an Indian origin man has become a Prime Minister of England. Another Vivek Ramaswamy vying for the presidency of USA. You wanted to keep Jammu and Kashmir as a stagnant pod. These voices should have come from Kashmir, that we should remodel it.
Okay, Ranbir, half a second. Okay, Ranbir, half a second. Let me just bring in Radha Kumar as well. Radha, for an entirely new generation of Kashmiris, do you believe that the Supreme Court verdict today takes away at the heart of their Kashmiri identity? Or do you feel, as a non-political observer, that in fact there is a generation of Kashmiris out there who want growth, development, education, who aren't really as concerned about the implications of 370?
Vishnu, I don't think you can pit the two against each other. If you look at the younger generation and the question of growth, employment and opportunities, then actually they had the highest rates of growth, the highest opportunities during the years of the Omar Abdullah administration. Kashmir prospered greatly, partly because they had a very sympathetic administration at the center that the state government could work with. Now, let me say that since then, there has never been a government at the center that the state government has been able to work with. The government at the center has disregarded everything that the elected administrations of the state have said. More than that, let me come to the point that I think one of your former speakers was making about the judgment. Even though none of us had high expectations, I do feel personally anguished because, as far as I can see, what this judgment has said is that the Kashmiris' right to consultation, the right or essential right in a democracy to consult, to put your views across, to influence policies, all of that has just been taken away at the stroke of a pen. I feel that if the first really black day for democracy was what happened on August 4th and 5th, 2019, then this is the second really black day.
Ranbir Patania, how would you say that? That the question I was asking Radha was whether a younger generation really cares about this, or whether they feel that their identity as Kashmiris has been aggrieved. She seems to suggest that the two cannot be looked at through the same prism. How would you respond to that?
With due respect to Radhaji, and if she correctly remembers, I am the one who put up the case before her when she was the appointed interlocutor for Jammu and Kashmir. I was leading the deputation of Jammu Bar Association, and you did not even make a mention of the memorandum of the Jammu Bar Association while finalizing your report. Yeah. Anyhow, due respect to you, madam, my point remains
that that's not true. That's not true. You're
that's
wrong.
what it was true, madam. You did not even mention our.
If you look at it,
you reported Facebook messages from Kashmir, madam, and you were
unfair have you to read the memorandum. Our report?
I have read it, madam. I have read it. I've written an article on it in also published in Hindustan Times. Also, you might not have read it. So let me come to the point.
Listed. If you had told me, I would have produced it and shown it on Vishnu's show. It is listed.
I'll seek another time from you, madam. So my respect to submission, madam. I'm virtually from Jammu and Kashmir. We are.
No, I don't like people misrepresenting and factually twisting.
And I don't like people. I don't like people having a prejudice. I don't like people having a prejudice, having a premeditated bent of mind. That's why I made it before this London panel, sir. Article 370 was virtually
You
placing an
cannot counter
epicenter.
a fact with an
It was
accusation.
absolutely placing an epicenter in a very, very sensitive area. And the tremors of that earthquake, it had a pan-India effect also, and virtually it was a conflict zone in South Asia also. So the very idea of placing Article 370 had its inception in the two-nation theory. It was virtually dealing Jammu and Kashmir on a communal basis also, and a communal agenda Bharat Sarkar accused to it. But ultimately the Bharat Sarkar recognized it. In 1953, Sheikh Abdullah Sahab was arrested, his Sarkar was dismissed, and ultimately integration of Jammu and Kashmir started. So thereafter also, my respectful submission is that the Kashmiri-based parties, they should be clear, they should be coherent. They shouldn't indulge in flip-flops. First of all, Sheikh Abdullah brought the special status, and then he fell out with Jawaharlal Nehru, and ultimately his government gone. Then 1975, once again, Beg and Partharastri echoed, and Sheikh Abdullah once again said,
on every single fact you have put forward.
You have
Ranbir, half a second. Let Dr. Radhakumar.
That's the problem, madam. That's the problem. You have a prejudiced mind. With due respect,
Radha, I'll come to you next. Ranbir, finish your point. Yes.
Yes. So I'm coming to it. We should have, in any case, if Bharat Sarkar, I don't say it was Jawaharlal Nehruji's idea. I don't say it is Congress' idea. This was the Bharat's idea. If we should accept it that India gave that special, the Indian Constituent Assembly gave this to Jammu and Kashmir. So we should have kept it as a vibrant and a living document, as a living institution, as a living part. We held the cards close to us. We said we will not give state subjects to the refugees who rejected the two-nation theory, who came across to the country. They became the prime minister, they became the home minister. But in Jammu and Kashmir, after 7 decades, we will not allow them to vote. We will not allow them to study in the educational institution. We will debar them from the right to have government service also. We will deny the rights to women marrying outside Jammu and Kashmir. So we will deny the justice to SCs and STs. We will deny the right to fair compensation, the right to education.
All right, no, Ranbir, I take your point. One second, Ranbir, I've got it.
Let's to flourish.
Let's right. So Radha, to those points on how the revocation of 370 ensures more rights for Kashmiris, how would you respond?
I would say you will have to go right by right. Now, by the way, in our report, we did recommend that refugees from POK should have the right to vote and other state subject rights. We also talked about SC/ST rights. All of this has been discussed. Now, as a matter of fact, SCs and STs in Jammu and Kashmir have traditionally been somewhat better off than in the rest of the country. They have not had to suffer the kind of caste and tribe discrimination and brutality that we have seen in other parts of our country. Now, you know, Vishnu, you asked an important question about the younger generation.
No, but Radha, why don't you complete this point? Because and sure, you by all means talk about that next.
Yes.
But why don't you finish this point? Because if Ranbir has listed, and I have a list also of what has been done in the last couple of years, but if the revocation of this means that there is greater integration of Kashmiris with the rest of the country, greater rights for women as well, I understand when you're saying that, no, you proposed this in your report as well, but it's now the law, it's part of the system, right? Therefore, why don't we welcome greater rights?
There aren't greater rights. So let's go to your point about greater rights. People in Jammu and Kashmir, which at that point included Ladakh, had the right to free education to the postgraduate level. Now they have the right to free education to, 10th grade of school. That is a huge lowering of rights, not a raising of rights. When it comes to ownership of property, the Jammu and Kashmir High Court ruled 15 or 20 years ago that women who marry, that Kashmiri women who married men outside or Kashmiri men who married women outside, they would have property rights. So that issue, I'm very sorry, has been settled a very long time ago. And I'll tell you something else. that as someone who grew up and lived in Delhi all my life and who has traveled the length and breadth of our beloved country, the one place I have always felt completely safe in as a woman is Kashmir. And this nonsense about not being able to go out before, absolutely untrue.
All right.
It's absolutely untrue.
Okay,
I
one
have gone
second,
out with
one
women
second.
friends
All right.
in Kashmir
Ranbir wants to come in on
until late
this.
at night.
I get your
During the
point about
militancy.
safety in Jammu and Kashmir. I must confess, in having reported from Kashmir for decades now, off and on, traveling in night, given the extremism and the security situation, was extremely frightening. I've done it a few times. It was morbidly frightening a couple of years back. The number of incidents of terror have actually declined. Separate point, but Ranbir had a point to make. Go ahead.
Yes. So Vishnu, I will again stick to the earlier point I was making out. You see how narrow-minded and parochial we had been in dealing with the people of Kashmir. A popular shrine, Amarnath, Baba Amarnath, which constitutes the core of the Kashmir's tourism, the core of the Kashmir's spirit of tolerance, the spirit of coexistence. Muslims founded it, and it's a shrine which is revered, which is visited by Hindus across the globe. And Umar Saab delivered the statement, "Ek inch bhi zameen nahi degi." Mehbooba says that it is in danger to Kashmiri. Kashmiri is in danger. You see, once again, Mehbooba ji saying that there will be nobody to pick up Indian tricolor. Farooq Saab seeking support from China for special rights to Jammu and Kashmir. So it was our narrow-mindedness and parochialness. With due respect to, once again, to Madam Radha ji, you are saying that male marrying females, there was no embargo to males marrying female. The only embargo was with regard to females marrying males outside Jammu and Kashmir. I think you should please correct your statement. This is an incorrect statement you have made before this learned channel. So my respectful submission that now there's a new defining moment in the political history of Jammu and Kashmir. We need to work out. First of all, 5th of August 2019, and now this 11th December, we need to work out. We need to work together for a Naya Jammu and Kashmir, a Jammu and Kashmir which has a spirit of cohesiveness, spirit of coherence, spirit of love, mutual tolerance, and ultimately, Jammu and Kashmir is virtually a miniature India. So many cultures, so many languages, so many practices, so many dresses, and Jammu and Kashmir should become a messenger of peace, a messenger of motherhood, and a messenger of mutual coexistence to the entire world, as Jammu and Kashmir was.
Okay, I just wanted to go back to Tanveer Sadiq for a moment, as I do have a time limit on this. Tanveer, the point which has been mentioned, several points by the BJP in today itself, that while there was an exceptionally difficult period for Kashmir, all of us saw that once 370 was abrogated. Whether it was a loss of communications, whether there was greater security, whether there was a democracy being held back, etc., etc. There was also several things which have benefited the state. For example, incidents of terror have declined, the establishment of a 3-tier Panchayati Raj system, elections to block development councils have been held, skill development for 2,000 plus tribals, scholarships to 46,000 students. I could go on and on. IITs, IIM, AIMS, Jammu, now operational. The number of tourists has come up. So, is this not correct?
You know, everything that you're talking about is before 2019. Unfortunately, when you let people like Ranbir pedalize
1.85 crore tourists visited Jammu and Kashmir till October this year.
I just want to point this out, which Madam Radha also pointed out. The thing that he's talking about has been addressed by the High Court. How many times do we need to tell him that? Unfortunately, they keep on peddling lies. The fact that you're talking about IIMs, AIMS, that has already been done during Dr. Manmohan Singh. There is nothing new except for, yes, the only thing is a few tourists have increased in Srinagar, Gulmarg, Pahalgam and Sonmarg maybe. Nothing more than that. The Amarnath Yatri and the Vaishno Devi Mata Yatri, the 1 crore mark was crossed when Umar Abdullah Saab was the chief minister. So please don't tell me that nothing happened before 2019.
No, but just correct me if I'm wrong. Tanveer, I'm asking you a basic question since I don't know. Were the IITs, the IIM and the AIMS in Jammu operational? Was it operational when Manmohan Singh announced it?
Started then.
Ask him when it was formally sanctioned.
You can't
when it was formally sanctioned, Tanveer Saab. asking
The
when it was
Banihal
sanctioned.
tunnel was started by
Didn't-
Dr. Manmohan
didn't
Singh.
Umar Sahib
You can't
say-
have it made
didn't
in
Umar
one
Sahib
day.
say-
So
Ek- ek
the
zameen de-
operationalization of the IIT, IIM
Yes,
and
it
AIM
would be.
has happened now, right?
If a scheme is done for 4 years, it will take
So
4
but
years
between
to...
the
What-
okay.
what kind of an argument is my friend
between the
saying here?
time that it was sanctioned and the time that it was
Yeah.
operational, what stopped it from being made operational earlier?
Nothing. It takes time. It takes a couple of years
So
to
the
build
fact
something.
that it's been operationalized now is a bad thing?
It takes the
No, it's
political
not.
will.
But why? How can they take credit for
needs
that?
political will.
Something that Dr. Manmohan Singh started. The Z-Mode tunnel, the Banihal tunnel, the highway, the city roads, everything was done before them, not after 2019. There is nothing. And I'll just add here, Jammu and Kashmir in the case of poverty has been better than any other states in the country. In terms of violence, crime, it has been much better. Now, please
Before
tell me, I know
1947.
militancy.
Before 1947.
Let me. I didn't interrupt. I don't interrupt.
Ranbir,
anyone.
go ahead.
I know
Finish
you
your
like
point.
to interrupt.
Sorry,
For fact,
Tanveer
please,
Sadiq, go ahead.
Tanveer,
Ranbir, I'll come to you after that. Tanveer Sadiq, finish your point. Yeah.
I agree. Yes, militancy created a lot of problems. Unfortunately, you talked about that you can't. You used to you cover. Of course, you used to cover, but you would be scared. Driving or walking during the night. Yes, militancy, but militancy was not the result of Article 370. Article 370 was well before 89. Why wasn't then Article 370 a problem? If Pakistan a problem, you need to either tell us that Pakistan is the problem or 370 is the problem. Because if 370 is the problem, then there should be not even a single incident of militancy
Okay.
anywhere in the country, anywhere
Okay.
in the state.
All right,
Number
okay.
two, I'll just finish with one point. No matter what my friend from the BJP says, the day you hold elections, now it has been 8 years since the last election and 5 years since governor rule. Everything that you asked, everything that my friend from BJP said, you'll get an answer.
All right. Okay. Well, we all welcome elections. Ranbir, would you have a right to respond, but please keep it short. I need to move on. Yeah.
You see, my very, very respectful submission, sir, is this tutu meme and this way and that way, we need to work together. This is what I'm saying. Jammu and Kashmir is the crown. Jammu and Kashmir shall remain a crown. These 6 or 7 decades saw bloodshed, saw division on caste communal lines or regional lines. Before 1947, Jammu and Kashmir was a happy oasis of a state. So let's work together. Let's work for a cohesive Kashmir, cohesive Jammu and Kashmir. We shouldn't fall to certain mundane and nasty considerations also. And my due respects and advice to Umar Sahab also, then we should come to realize where we are standing and what we are doing. You are advising Bharat Sarkar to talk to Pakistan. This is not your domain, sir. This is not your domain. You are saying 1 inch zameen nahi denge parliament pe. This is not a good statement. I respect
Sir,
Umar
I did
Sahab
not go to
like anything
Islamabad.
else.
I did not go to have lunch and dinner with the Prime Minister
Sir,
of
you
Pakistan.
cannot advise the Bharat Sarkar. You are nobody to advise Bharat Sarkar.
Who went
You are
All
there?
right, okay, all right, both of you, let's end it. But I do
One
believe, one
sec.
sec, let's not shout and scream and do any of that. I think we can all agree that elections in Jammu and Kashmir are welcome.
That's it.
I think we can all accept that a return to statehood, which is what the Supreme Court has asked for, is a welcome move. There'll
It's
always
not a
be a
welcome
debate.
move, Vishnu. I wish they had given a timeline. How many more years do you need to restore statehood?
All right, that's a fair point. Hopefully, with the Supreme Court having announced that, there will be some progress towards that. But I'd like to thank you all very much for joining us.